Pocahontas. Pocahontas was the daughter of Powhatan, the powerful chief of the Powhatan confederacy, a large group of more than 30 Algonquin tribes and 25,000 members. These tall and well-built people lived in the low-lying coastal regions of modern-day Virginia. They built wooden homes, carved canoes out of trees, and used rocks and bones to make tools. The men hunted and fished, and the women farmed. Pocahontas, the favorite daughter of Chief Powhatan, did attract special notice for her beauty and liveliness, hence the name Pocahontas, meaning playful one. On 4th of May 1607, the 12-year-old Pocahontas sat on a hill admiring the landscape lined with tall trees, lush meadows, and colorful flowers. As she gazed at the horizon, the azure sky and the deep blue sea, she saw a huge ship with white sails. Excitedly, she ran to her father and brother with the news. Chief Powhatan listened to the news but was not happy. He said, "The white men coming is bad news. There is no peace with the white men here." Nantakas, Pocahontas' 18-year-old brother, was a sturdy warrior. He echoed his father's views. "In the past, the white people killed many of our people to take our land. They are dangerous." Nantakas and Pocahontas paddled down to the bay in a canoe to find out more. On the ship, they saw a tall man with red hair and white skin. He was dressed differently too. Nantakas turned back and informed his father. Powhatan consulted his advisors and medicine men. They concluded that white men brought with them problems. They had magical powers and thunder sticks with which they could kill anyone with ease. They were there to take away their land, their lakes, their rivers, and their forests. The white man was Captain John Smith. His crew was happy to be in Chesapeake Bay. They wanted to establish a small settlement there, where they hoped to find gold and silver in the New World. They also hoped to find a shorter river route to the Pacific Ocean in order to trade more easily with the countries of Asia. The site chosen for the Jamestown colony was on a peninsula in the James River. Today, this peninsula has become an island. The settlers chose this site and built some huts, a storehouse, and a church. They chose this site for their settlement for several reasons. It was close to deep water and offered easy access to supply ships. No one lived on it, and its shape made it easy to defend. However, the confident colonists soon came to regret their choice. The land was marshy, and the water they drank from the river was muddy and salty. These first settlers had little practical experience with farming, food storage, and organized labor. Most of them were tradesmen, not workers. Ignorant of what was required to survive in a difficult new environment, the group failed to put by adequate stores of food. In August 1607, bad drinking water, disease-carrying mosquitoes, and lack of food caused the settlers to fall sick. By the end of the first year, only 38 of the original 104 settlers had survived. Gradually, the English colonists and the tribes began to trade with each other. The Powhatans offered food in exchange for the settlers' tools and other goods. Their relationship was an uneasy one. Although the Powhatans offered gifts of food, they also sometimes attacked colonists who were found outside their settlement. One day, Captain Smith and his men went into the forest to look for food. There they were captured by the tribe and taken to Chief Powhatan. Captain Smith tried to communicate to Chief Powhatan in sign language and a few local words that they wanted to live peacefully. He also presented Chief Powhatan with a compass. Powhatan and his tribe thought it was magic and wanted to kill him. Pocahontas begged her father to spare the white man and saved John Smith's life. After this incident, Pocahontas and John Smith became great friends. Soon Pocahontas became a familiar face in the settlement. She sometimes brought gifts of food from her father to the colonists. John Smith taught her English, and she taught him her language. He told her about London and its enormous buildings, about King James I and his palace, about the men and women there and their culture. Pocahontas listened with interest and dreamed about London. Chief Powhatan once sent her to Jamestown to ask the Englishmen to release their Native American captives. She was successful in carrying out this diplomatic mission. However, this period of friendly trading did not last. The struggling, unhealthy English colonists were desperate for food. They wanted corn, but a terrible drought had reduced Powhatan crops, and the tribes had no surplus to trade. The angry colonists began threatening the Powhatans. By winter, the Jamestown settlers had very little food to eat. Many settlers were ill and weak. Pocahontas helped them by coaxing her father to share corn, meat, and other food with the colonists. But when more ships from England came to Jamestown, Powhatan was concerned about the future of his tribe and refused to give them more food. One night, Powhatan and John Smith tried to settle a negotiation till past midnight. Powhatan suggested that Captain Smith sleep in the small cabin near the river. Captain Smith was completely unaware of the chief's intention to kill him. That night, Pocahontas warned him of the ambush planned by her father. Captain Smith did not wait any longer and left for Jamestown in the middle of the night. There he told the settlers that Pocahontas saved his life again. Soon after this, Captain Smith returned to England. In Pocahontas' village, everyone thought that Captain Smith was dead. However, when more and more white settlers came to Jamestown, Chief Powhatan declared war on the settlers. He sent Pocahontas to live with the Potomac tribe, fearing that she might come to harm otherwise. Pocahontas was safe with the Potomac tribe. Chief Japazaws was the head of the Potomac tribe. There, Pocahontas met Chief Japazaw's friend Captain Samuel Argall, an English explorer who lived in Jamestown. One day, Captain Argall invited Chief Japazaws, his wife, and Pocahontas to see his ship. The chief and his wife managed to lure Pocahontas onto Argall's ship. They were well looked after, but by sunset, Pocahontas realized that she was Captain Argall's prisoner. Chief Japazaws and his wife had helped Captain Argall capture Pocahontas for a payment of a copper kettle and some colored beads. Captain Argall did not want to hurt Pocahontas, but he persuaded a local chief to join forces with him against Powhatan. Argall then sailed to Jamestown. Everyone in Jamestown liked Pocahontas because they knew that she had saved Captain James Smith's life twice and had brought them food during the long winter. Pocahontas was treated well, given English clothes to wear, taught English, and introduced to English manners and customs. Argall sent word to Powhatan that he had captured Pocahontas, saying she would be freed if Powhatan would release the English prisoners and also return the English weapons and tools that his warriors had taken. At first, Argall's plan seemed to work. After Powhatan heard of the kidnapping and Argall's ransom demand, the chief freed 7 English prisoners. However, he did not return the stolen weapons and tools. As time passed without a solution, Powhatan finally refused to negotiate anymore. By March 1614, everything had changed in Pocahontas' life. By then she had become a Christian. After this conversion, she was named Rebecca. Powhatan did not return the weapons, so Pocahontas had to stay in Jamestown. But she was not unhappy. In April 1614, Pocahontas married John Rolfe, a young tobacco farmer. The governor of Virginia, Thomas Dale, and Chief Powhatan both assented to their marriage. Pocahontas was the first Native American to marry a white man. The people of Jamestown and the tribes celebrated the marriage together. The following year, Pocahontas gave birth to a son, Thomas. There was another very important outcome of the marriage: the Peace of Pocahontas. The union of the native Powhatan woman and the Englishman helped to calm the ongoing conflicts between the tribes and the colonists. Pocahontas was seen to be the symbol of these peaceful times. Pocahontas and her family, along with Thomas Dale and some young Powhatan women, were on a ship to England in the spring of 1616 with the goal of raising support for their settlements. After docking in September 1616, the group toured all of England before finally arriving in London. An artist created a portrait of Pocahontas for the Virginia Company to publicize her visit. The London Society, as well as important investors, met Pocahontas and found her enchanting. Pocahontas caused a great sensation. In London, she met some of the city's most important people. She even met King James I. She also met John Smith after many years. Smith had never forgotten the courageous Powhatan girl. He wrote a letter to Queen Anne, telling her all the things Pocahontas had done to help the Jamestown settlers. In 1788, Virginia became a state of the United States. Pocahontas is remembered as the princess who brought about peace between the English newcomers and the Native Americans.